decision was a long time coming, and I feel like a much better person divorced than I ever did. Life is so great. Like, I had no idea life could be simple.
Oh my God, guys, if you have been following along with the crazy Sisterized family like I have, you know that Kody and Meri Brown have had an unusual marriage since their legal divorce. Well, on the last season of Sister Wives, Kody made it perfectly clear that there is no romance between him and Meri, that they are just friends. Things have been horrible between them ever since we found out that Meri was having an emotional affair with a catfish. So seriously, what is the deal? Why is Meri staying around in the marriage if she's not getting literally anything out of it? And especially with COVID, she isn't even allowed to be close with her sister wives anymore. Last week, we finally saw Meri and Robyn get together, who hadn't been together indoors for almost 9 months at that point. And as we all know by now, it's pretty clear that Kody only wants to be in a romantic relationship with Robyn over the last few years. And while Janelle and Christine seem to be realizing that over the course of the last few episodes, Meri has not yet gotten to that point. And now that Janelle and Christine are pulling away from their marriage, mainly Christine, because we saw in present day she left him, it's got people wondering if Kody will be forced to pursue a romantic relationship with Meri once again just to keep up this polygamous lifestyle that he's famous for. Well, in the episode from last week, it definitely seems like that's becoming more and more of a possibility in Kody's eyes. The sister wives have officially split into two sides: the wives who are willing to follow Kody's strict rules with Meri and Robyn, and the wives who are not with Janelle and Christine. And I am still so shocked just how badly the pandemic split apart the family, but it seems like it's only going to get worse and worse.
I love being a mom. I mean, I'm not a wife anymore, so I was fine, great, but really being a mom is my favorite role ever.
And although Meri and Robyn are now able to get together, Janelle and Christine, they both decided to go to Utah to celebrate Thanksgiving with all of their kids, rather than, quarantining for 2 weeks so that they could spend the day with Kody, Meri, and Robyn. And Kody was super upset that Janelle and Christine picked their kids over him, but neither of the wives saw a problem with it. Both the wives, Janelle and Christine, said that they would always pick their kids over Kody when it came down to it. And it really seems like their absence could absolutely positively affect Kody and Meri's relationship. During the Thanksgiving celebrations, Meri shows up to Robyn's house with a turkey, quote-unquote turkey, of her own. And although she usually makes the turkey, Robyn had asked to do it this year, and Kody was worried that it was going to start some drama between the wives. But instead, Meri had been playing a joke on the entire family. She revealed it was simply a turkey made out of Rice Krispie treats, which she made specifically for Kody because she knows how much he likes them, guys. The sweet gesture did not go unnoticed by Kody, and it became clearer than ever that he may be forced to reignite his romance with his first wife.
But I do recommend you find a soulmate. I do recommend that you find real passion. Somebody who wants to make you dance the dervish, that makes you feel vibrantly alive, that type of thing. Best friends are great, but I wouldn't marry my best friend. Even though in my marriage, I can be married to my best friend, you need to have a lot of passion in that marriage.
And this week's episode revealed even more cracks amongst the family, with Kody and Janelle's son Gabe getting into a fight about the strict COVID restrictions and about how it's tearing the family apart for good. And fans like myself were shocked when Kody didn't listen to anything Gabe was saying and instead reacted meanly and yelled at his son. Gabe even asked him to be vulnerable and express his feelings because they're on the same team, but instead Kody yelled at him about his mom Janelle and blamed him as well. Yeah, it's super clear, you guys, that the family is obviously falling apart, and it definitely seems to be due to Kody's ego. The family was able to put aside their differences when Janelle's mom suddenly passed away just before Christmas. Only Kody went to the funeral though, and then quarantined leading up to the Christmas so that the entire family could spend the holiday together finally. But at Christmas, it was obvious that the family may never be repaired. It all went down when Robyn's youngest daughter, Ari, was opening presents, and it was revealed that she didn't even know all of her siblings' names, referring to them as her or her. It was a sad state of affairs for the family that grew up very united. Kody even mentioned that Ari had forgotten a lot of her siblings because it had been so long since she'd last seen them.
I think that my cure has been worse than the disease, but that's just a personal thing. Struggling a lot. second guessing myself, which I probably shouldn't do at this point.
And in the preview for next week's episode, there were so many things happening that I don't know about you guys, but it felt like I was getting whiplash. At first, Robin reveals that the infamous nanny, the only person who's allowed to come into their house, has tested positive for COVID. And this is especially hilarious because before, Robin and Kody both swore that she was only allowed to come to their house because she was following their strict restrictions. Janelle, Christine, and Meri were not allowed to visit because of that. It definitely seems like that was a lie because she did catch the virus from someone outside of Kody's home. And as if that wasn't enough drama, guys, it was revealed that next week is the episode we've all been waiting for, when Christine finally leaves Kody.
Hope that Kody and I can still remain friends during all of this, because we've been still real high communicating with each other and stuff. And I'm good about it. Don't get me wrong. It's been, but like we have a life still together after this because we have kids to raise, and Truly's 11, so we have to just be good and amiable and things like that.
It's been years in the making, and in this season especially, it's become clear that the two have absolutely no relationship left, and it doesn't seem like either of them are very upset about it. At the beginning of the preview, Christine explains that Kody came to her and told her that he no longer desires to have an intimate relationship with her. You guys, it's a similar conversation that we heard him have with Meri just a few years ago, except Meri didn't leave. She's, kind of stuck it out with no romantic relationship with Kody, just to remain a part of the family. But however, as we all know, Christine does not go that route.
Becoming a badass is really, it was an important step for me to make. I think I was talking to my mom, last year, and she was just saying you have to listen to your heart and then make a decision based on joy. But listen to your heart and really go deep into who you are as a person and then make that decision. And I'm like, yeah, but people are going to know my business. Anything that I decide to do, since I'm public, people are going to know. She's like, so? I'm like, she goes, so what? So what? Make a decision for yourself and go with that.
When he told her that, she told the cameras that she has no interest in being in a marriage without an intimate relationship. And it immediately cuts to a shot of Kody and Christine's garage where he found all of his belongings boxed up. You guys, he was as visibly angry that she'd packed up all of his stuff and clearly no longer wanted to be married. It seems as though he thought that Christine, would go in the same direction as Meri and stay spiritually married to Kody, even though that they have no romantic relationship. But, as we all now know, this is only the beginning of the drama for these two. Christine moved back to Utah just like she wanted to do, and things are only going to get crazier on TV from here. But still, you can't help but wonder what this means for the state of all of Kody's marriages.
Keep the nose, dump the plural marriage.
Now that Christine's left the family, many are questioning if it's only a matter of time before Janelle leaves with her. And even though she does say that she wants to stay in Flagstaff, it definitely seems like a possibility more than ever. Christine was always, her best friend in the family. They helped raise each other's kids more than Kody did, it seems like. And even when it came down to Thanksgiving, Janelle said that her kids told her that they would go wherever Christine was going, not their dad. And on top of that, tensions are higher than ever between Janelle's kids and Kody. And we all saw Janelle say that she was always, going to choose her kids over Kody. It's definitely not a stretch to wonder if Janelle will leave now that Christine, her best friend, did. That would, leave the family in an interesting situation. If Janelle and Christine both left the family, that only leaves Meri and Robin left. And we all know that Meri and Kody haven't had a romantic relationship since at least 2015, you guys. So after they allegedly, got quote-unquote divorced and Meri fell into an emotional affair with a catfish. So all of this essentially means that Kody, one of the world's most famous polygamists, would be in a monogamous relationship with just Robin. And while many fans argue that this is what Kody kind of wants anyway, it definitely would have a horrible consequences for his reality TV fame, not to mention his marriage to Robin. It would be easy for TLC to kind of turn their attention away from Kody and onto potential ex-wives if they all were to leave him. Fans would be much more interested in seeing them rebuild in their lives than his relationship with Robin. And although most fans argue that Robin wants a monogamous relationship too, that came into question on last week's episode when she revealed to Meri that she doesn't like having Kody home all the time because she misses her space and breaks from him. So what would Kody do? Reconnect with Meri and rebuild his romantic relationship with her? That he's still, considered a polygamist? Or would he try to find a new wife altogether? Only time will tell as we watch all these crazy events unfold on our TV, guys. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Please do me a huge, huge, huge favor. Hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button. And y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.